Hello everyone, it's Sky here and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today we are finishing our bonus Halloween color along for the month of October. We've been working in Jasmine Becket-Griffith's Halloween coloring book, and then this is the page that we've been coloring. So we are going to finish her today and I am super excited. I have a couple pieces of paper that I'm just going to tuck in behind to protect the pages behind this one, and we are going to dive on in. So I have a few different color ideas. I think what we're going to start on is the, I think it might be best to do the kind of coppery bronze colored bits on this charm here, just so we don't accidentally pull in the darker colors that's going to be behind them. So I think that's what we'll do. So let's dive on in and we'll get started. So the combination for the coppery bronze I'm using is one that I found in the Prismacolor combinations group, which will be linked in the description box below. But it's by a lady named Julie Lucas. It looks like a really pretty color combination. I changed it up a little bit. I'm adding the cream, maybe in place of the white. I just want to see what it looks like. And then instead of the dark brown that she used, I'm going to use dark umber because I've already used dark umber in this picture and I just like it better. So for those reasons, I'm going to switch it up. I'm just going to start with the dark umber, I think. So I'm going to keep our shadows kind of like on the bottom side for sure, probably bottom left, because that's what the majority of the shadows have been, aside from like a few. So I'm just going to keep them that way for this. So we have several colors to fit on here, so I don't know if I want my shadows to be too out there. I think we're just going to start real light for now, because I always have a really bad habit of making my shadows too dark, as you guys know. Yeah, there's a fly in here. All right, there's our shadows on that one. I want to work my way through these colors so I can see what they look like. And then I can kind of make my decision on if I want to use the white or the cream for the highlight. So we'll go in with our terracotta now. I'm just going to do the same thing for all of these. I'm going to go over the previous colors and I'm going to fade this color out a little bit more. Not too far though, just little bits at a time. I'm not going to worry about these little tiny holes in the charms on this. I'll probably just color them in black later on anyways, because I want to try and keep the box fairly dark with just a few highlights. So anything like that would probably be just pretty dark. All right, once we're happy with that, switch to the next color, which is going to be the peach. So I'm going to bring this one out just a little bit. Maybe should have picked the smaller one to be the trial one. Because you guys know me, I don't actually test on paper before. I just picked this combination and I jumped with it. So We'll see how it goes. I probably should stop doing that, but okay, I'm not sure about this because it's looking more pink. Hers does not, so why does mine? Maybe it does, I don't know. I guess copper is kind of like a pink tone. We might just have to bring the terracotta out a little bit more because I think that's what's going to give us that copper tone. So before I end up burnishing the shadows, I'm just going to lightly bring this out over these colors a little bit. I think I like that a little bit better. Let's see, we were going in with the salmon pink. I don't know if we did or not, so I'm just going to bring this back. So this is our second last color, so I'm going to leave enough room for highlights. I mean, worst case scenario, this might just look like a rose gold. The only trouble with pulling combinations off of like the internet is you don't really know what order they did their pencils in. I usually just go from light to dark and then hope for the best, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way. Like in this case, I think she did use the terracotta a little bit more, and I think that's why mine doesn't quite look like hers. Oh, I lied. That was our third last color. This is our second last color. So I think I don't want this looking super, super peach. So I'm just going to very lightly go over the highlights, and then we'll add, I think, the cream in there. I don't think I want white. I think I want the cream. I'm gonna make sure it's clean. I think it's okay. So I'm gonna go in over top of the highlights and then just burnish this down a little bit. I mean, it kind of looks copper, but it just doesn't quite look like hers. Okay, if we go over with the terracotta after everything's done, it actually works a lot better, because then it's kind of just plain over top of those colors. So it still has that pink look to it, but it's adding the more bronze kind of look, if that makes sense. There, I like that a lot better. Okay, I do think I like the cream, so I'm gonna get rid of the white for now. I'm gonna tuck that up there. And then we can just kind of continue going through these colors on everything else. So we'll go back in with our dark umber. I'm gonna make double check and make sure that we're good here. Actually, you know what? After we put the dark umber is what I was gonna say. After we put the dark umber down, let's go over and use this to fully burnish everything. So kind of like frost it a little bit, blend all the colors together, And then hopefully make it a little bit lighter so that way it stands out against the dark blue that's going to be here. I like that. Alright, so now we are going to continue. Just going to go through and add our shadows everywhere. And then I'm uncertain, this part and the heart, I might want to make those a different color. Kind of on the fence about that still, so I'm just going to leave them uncolored for now. I'm going to color everything that I am somewhat sure about and then take it back to the computer and see if I like it as a different color or not. Or we might even be able to just use tracing paper because that'll be a small area. But I do have the eyes to figure out too. So maybe computer would be better. So far, like all of the dark colors for her eyes just don't seem appealing to me. There's been a couple lighter colors I've tried that I have liked a little bit more, but still I haven't found that color that just was like, this is the one. And maybe it'll even be blue. Maybe it'll be like a purple and blue because that's what we have going on here. So it might be purple on the inside and then blue on the outside. I wouldn't want to do blue on the bigger ones since it would be touching this one, so. I don't know, there's just so many options and I'm not good at making decisions. I never have been. This will be optional, but I think I do want to go over these pieces with a very kind of like watered down metallic watercolor. So I want them to have a little bit of a shimmer. We could also just kind of keep them dull and like flat looking by adding like a little bit more brown to them like that. Kind of like rust them up a little bit, which doesn't look bad either, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to see what the whole piece looks like first before making that decision. I don't quite know how to color this thing. started adding in quite a bit more shadow because I already know that I want more shadow to this, so now I'm not too worried. So as long as I don't go too overboard, it should be okay. This doesn't quite close here, so I'm just going to add like a line here and fade this up. I assume it's supposed to be a heart, so it would probably close around here. So I'm just going to add that in ourselves. All right, there's that there. So let's go in with our terracotta now. So we're going to go over top of the dark umber and fade this out a little bit. I think pretty much like up until, we'll leave like a little bit of a highlight, but we're just going to fade this out quite a ways so that way this color mixes in with everything. It's totally fine if some end up a little bit darker and some look lighter. That was just going to add some extra interest to the page anyways. Apologies if my mic is picking up the fly buzzing around. It's trying to get out the windows, and I am not letting the cats in here because they will destroy the recording setup. So this one I'm just going to color in brown. Same with this one here. Really hope that this ends up looking okay. I'm like so nervous. This was one of my favorite pages in the books for sure. Probably not my absolute favorite. I don't know what that would be, but pretty high up there on my favorites from this book. So of course I put a lot of pressure on myself for coloring it. That and because it's for you guys as well. So there's already that pressure there that I want to make it as good as possible for you guys. And I think just because this is one of my favorite pages, I've been really struggling with color choices. And probably more than usual just because of the kind of layout of the page. It's hard to find balance to a page like this where you, especially like, for example, we have 3 different kinds of flowers here and they're scattered like all over the page. And then there's really only one other element aside from her. So that doesn't really give us a lot of opportunity to balance out colors, and that kind of makes it so we're almost stuck to a limited palette. Not that it would look bad if we didn't use a limited palette. I'm just not good with a lot of colors. If I use a lot of colors, then usually it ends up looking like a rainbow threw up on it. So I figure it's not very often that I get this lost with colors, so just embrace it. It might not even be the page too. It might even just be life, because life has been like really chaotic and stuff. So it might just be me as well. Hard to say. All right, let's go in with our peach. I'm gonna brush some dust off here. I think I'm only gonna bring the peach in kind of alongside the darker parts of the terracotta, and then I'll fade it out because otherwise we're not going to have enough room for all of these colors. Some of these smaller ones we might not have enough room for anything anyways, or for everything anyways, and that's okay. We'll just put what we do have room for. I'm definitely liking the look this is going better than that first one. That first one was just kind of a practice one, and if I was smart, I would have picked the smaller one. Or, you know, like actually practiced on a different piece of paper would have been nice too, but I'm lazy and impatient, so there's that. Sometimes it bites me in the ass, sometimes it works out okay. Did we add the terracotta to these two? We must have, obviously. It just doesn't look like much, which is weird. That's okay. All right, that looks good to me. Let's move in with the salmon pink. I'm gonna run this one lightly over everything and bring it out a little bit. And fade it out. I don't know if I really need or want the light peach for this combination. I think for me it just makes it a little bit too pink for what I'm going for. I might drop that. Well, no, we'll keep it. It was kind of nice to kind of use as like a base for the highlights so they're not super yellow, I guess. So otherwise they might look out of place for everything else since we're using the cream for the highlights. I'm liking the color so far though. I feel like, with all the other colors, I mean, I feel like it's different, but it kind of matches in with her makeup, which I was hoping. My bigger concern now is I'm a little bit worried after doing the base part that this is gonna look super light, but hopefully if that's the case, it does still look good. All right, let's grab the light peach. And with this one, I'm just gonna lightly go over the highlights. And with the cream, I'm just going to sharpen mine a little bit. Let's go in on the highlights and kind of blend it into the darker colors. I'm not going to worry about completely burnishing anything because we're going to go back over with the white. All right, let's go in with our white. I think I'm going to start from the shadows and kind of drag them up into the highlights. I'll kind of help dirty up the highlights a little bit. Give us a little bit more of the antique color just in case I decide not to bring in the metallic watercolors. Yeah, I like these ones a lot better than that first one. I hope this one doesn't stand out too much. It does a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, well, what we are going to do, actually what I should have done first, but we'll do now, I'm going to take the terracotta. I'm just going to brown a few of these up a little bit more. I think that's enough to make it not quite stand out so much. I actually kind of like that. Let's add some kind of like streaky lines to some of these ones too. Kind of all going in the same direction. There we go. I'm also going to come in with the dark umber on some of these as well. Let's darken up some of these shadows. Going lightly because this is almost fully burnished, but maybe I'll still add a little bit. Let's make some of these lines a little rough. I'm actually really liking like the old tarnished look on this. Makes the pieces on it just seem, I don't know, a lot more unique. Like they have a lot more character. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. All right, for the base of this, I'm not exactly sure which route I want to take. I want to have it pretty dark, I think. I have a few colors here. Probably won't use them all, but we'll see. This part here is probably going to be the darkest. I'm just going to go ahead and base this with the Indian Throne Blue. And then we'll kind of figure out where our shadows are going to be. So now me and my OCD would want to put a shadow under every single one of these little things, and that I think is going to look weird. So I think I'm just going to pick out a few to do that with. I don't know, let's lightly see, because that's going to bother me if they're not all the same. I mean, doing it this way might actually, because I want to keep it dark. So that actually might be what we need to do. I forgot about this thing. I don't know what that is. I think it's part of the flower. It has to be. What else would it be? Don't mind the background noise. think that looks okay shadow wise. It'll still give us like a little bit of highlights here. Definitely want highlights around like this area of it for sure. So we can go in and darken our shadows, which I'm going to use the black to do. So I'm going to put a pretty decent layer of the black down directly underneath. It's almost like we're thickening the lines of these ornaments. That's what I'm going to call them, because this thing is a charm. These I think are also charms. It's confusing. These are going to be ornaments. This whole thing is a charm. It's going to be my way of differentiating. But yeah, it's almost like we're thickening the bottom lines up of them. I want it to be really dark and then fade it out. We can start coloring in the holes on these things as we go. A slight shadow here with the black. We'll fade that out there. I'm gonna be hopping all over the place because I hate using the black, so I'll probably hop around. Just because it takes my mind off of it almost, kind of thing, if that makes sense. I would love a black that you can lay it down and it actually looks black, whereas this one, it's more gray. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. We could, but you know what, let's do these dark. I don't know why, I just wanted to. Almost as if like there's holes in that too, because I don't know what this piece is. I want this to almost be purely black on the side. So we're gonna go really, really black on the edges where she's kind of holding. Really, really black on the bottom, and then we'll just fade it out a little bit, and then we'll burnish that with the enthroned blue. We're gonna bring it up over this edge a little bit. There, just like that. That'll hopefully give it a little bit of a rounded look. These ones still look kind of funny, so I'm just going to go over them with the black. I think that looks good with the black, so let's go back in with the Indanthrone blue. I think I'm going to start up here. I'm just going to start darkening this up a bit. I don't know if I'll use the white, but I kind of want the same effect that we did with the flower, where we're using a different color to kind of burnish it, because that'll help make it look a lot brighter. So I'm mostly going to focus on just giving it a lot of layers. And then we'll fade it out where we want our highlights. It's like I said, all along kind of like the edge of here. Just want to see what time we're at here. All right, we're only at an hour. That's not bad. Let me see what time it is in actual life too. All right, 3 o'clock. That is bad. I gotta go pick up the little man here soon. use black for this spot right here. Totally forgot about it. The blue just didn't look right. Okay, we're gonna make it really dark down here. Okay, I just want to build up some of these areas that don't look very dark, especially closer to the bottom, because we want the bottom to be kind of darker than the top for sure. I think I want to use the powder blue to kind of burnish and blend everything together. Hoping it won't lighten it up too much, but I'm hoping it will kind of give it that royal blue look that I kind of want. I just drooled on myself. Ugh. Alright, we're good on time for now. Yeah, that's I didn't have to tell you guys that, but I figured you might find that amusing. Apparently I was super concentrated. Happens to the best of us. Alright, so I'm liking this so far. It is looking a little bit more like velvet, which I'm actually really loving. Alright, there we go. I colored her finger blue a little bit here, so I'm just gonna try and fix that by just dabbing my eraser on it slightly. Yeah, it's taking like the skin color off, but not the blue. There. Alright, and luckily I have my peach right here, so I'm just gonna touch that up. I kind of want to outline these pieces and make them kind of jump off the page. I'm a little worried that's not a good idea, but I'm going to try it anyways. I don't know about that actually. I think I'm just gonna leave those as is. I will wait for that to dry and then I'm just going to gently scratch that off. Okay, with the Blue Violet Lake, I want this flower to be kind of like the bluey white tone of these flowers, I think. So I'm just going to start with the Blue Violet Lake. I'm going to fade this out a little bit. I think we did this one with the Blue Violet Lake as well, so I'm just going to kind of color over these spots instead of working around them. I don't know what these bits is. I think this is part of the plant. I'll do these two as part of the flower, and then the rest of that is getting colored as background because I have no idea. I'm going to take the Imperial Violet a little bit just on the inside of this one. I'm going to create a little bit of a darker shadow there, a little bit of a shadow here where it comes out from here, under here and under here. Maybe a little bit down here too, just to give this one a little bit of kind of like more character, I guess. It's kind of plain. Don't want the light aqua. We're getting rid of that one. So I don't think we've used that yet. I'm not sure if we will. All right, and then in with the powder blue, make sure the tip of it is clean. Just gonna bring this out from the shadows and color everything in. Yeah. All right, we'll finish that up after. I'm gonna go pick up my kiddo. All right, so I did have some color ideas on the computer and finally decided on two that I kind of liked. And then I just kind of slept on it, went to work for a little bit today. I only worked 4 hours, which is really nice. So now I'm back and I think I've made a decision. Hopefully it's okay. Just everything that I've tried just does not look good or just doesn't look like it would fit. But I think I finally figured it out. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to color in these areas now. So I'm gonna start with the dioxazine purple hue. I'm gonna start on these ones here. So I'm gonna go in with a light medium pressure. I wanna keep these pretty dark, I think. So for the ones that kind of tuck in behind her hair, those ones are gonna be, for the most part, for the most part, colored in fully. I do want to add some black shadow, so I'm not going to burnish it completely. And then I think for these ones, I will kind of fade them out. I'm going to kind of keep her makeup, oh my gosh. I'm going to kind of keep her makeup all around I can't talk today. No multitasking. I'm going to keep her makeup kind of all around the same colors. They're just going to be these purples. Anytime I've tried to bring in any of the other colors, like the blue, I tried to bring that into her makeup, it just didn't look good. I tried the copper. I think I tried just like grayscale almost, and I didn't like that either. So it's been a little chaotic with choosing colors, to be honest. We're gonna grab the black. So I'm just going to start the black in at the very bottoms here and then fade it up. I'm going to do that for all of these little guys here. And then back in with the dioxazine purple hue. over the black. Bring this out a little bit darker. And then we'll fade it out around here. Next we have the Blue Violet Lake. I think I'm just gonna pop this in over top, fade it out a little bit. Let's just color this whole area in with this, I think. Tried to fade that out nicely, but it didn't really fade out very good. So before I completely burnish that, I just want to fix this and try and make that look a little bit nicer, because the blend between them looks pretty harsh at the moment, and I don't really like that. That's a little bit better. All right, so these big petals, to me, looked better darker. So I'm gonna do the dark purple for the big petals and then the lighter purpley blue for the smaller ones. So that is the plan here. So we're gonna go ahead and start that. I think I do wanna have them fade out a little bit. I don't think I want them all one color. They're gonna be like similar in color anyways, but we'll do the purple and the black on the bigger ones, and then a little bit of the purple maybe with the blue for the smaller ones. I think I'm going to sharpen this a little bit, if I can. We'll do one eye and then we'll do the other. Or, I mean, you can do it whichever way you want to, because we're going to do the same thing on the other one anyways, but I get a little bit bored using the same color. I gotta switch it. Alright, so we got the Dioxazine purple hue, and we're going to switch to the black now. I don't quite know how much of the black I want. I want a little bit. So maybe just at like the very top, or I guess bottom, depending on how you look at these. And then fade them out a little bit kind of in the middle. I'm not gonna like go in with the black super dark. It is pretty dark around here, but then I'm just lightly fading it out and kind of graying up the purple a little bit to make it appear darker. I really like that. I'm like almost debating making it like super dark purple like this, just the whole thing, but no, I'm gonna stick to what I was thinking originally. So I'm gonna come back in with the Dioxazine purple hue, and we're pretty much just gonna color these in. I don't know if these pencils are the same straight across the board, but for me, my Dioxazine purple hue is a little bit soft. It's kind of like on like almost like the chalky kind of soft side, if that makes sense. It's a weird texture. I can feel it when I'm coloring with it. So I don't really know if I'm going to get a burnished look with this, but I'm going to see. I might have to use my blender pencil to finish burnishing. But I'm just going to keep adding and layering up as much as I can. I guess this will be actually pretty dark, so I think that's going to be good. I think it'll be a nice contrast, and I think that's what we need, especially for her eyes, because they are pretty much the focal point in my opinion. They're definitely like the biggest spot on the page for the most part, and then having all of like the decorative elements around them for sure, and then just eyes in general, because they're a little bit captivating, especially the way that Jasmine draws them. Alright, so we're just going to keep going here, just doing the same thing. I think I definitely will have to use my blender pencil. I can hear the flies still in here, or made its way back, one of the two. I seen one in the bathroom earlier and I thought it had moved rooms, but maybe now there's two of them. I don't usually have flies in the house because the cats will usually eat them. Which I usually hope if there's a fly in the house that it's either Lilo or Stitch that gets them, because they make Miko sick, but she still insists on attempting to eat them. So that's always fun to clean up. So since I've decided to use my blender pencil, I'm not too worried about trying to smooth this out or make it look good. I'm more just going to try and get as much pigment down on the paper as possible, so just a lot of layers, and I'm going to try and make all of these roughly the same kind of hue. So same kind of darkness. I mean, it does leave a nice texture too, though. But I think I want it smooth. I definitely like the contrast with this since it's so dark. I'm glad I decided to go with this color. So I'm just going to use my blender pencil now to go through and blend everything out. Oh, that looks so pretty. Now I'm almost wondering if black would be a good choice. Oh, Lord. I think we need to stick to the plan. Last minute changes are probably bad. Okay, we're sticking to the plan. We're sticking to the plan. So still with the dioxazine purple hue, I create a little bit of a shadow, just slightly. I don't want to go too crazy with this, I don't think. I mean, worst case scenario, if we don't like this, then I can just color these in black with the Posca pen, so really no worries there. So I'm going to try and fade these out nicely, but I do want to add a little bit of shadow. I don't want to go too dark because I don't want it to match the petals in behind. All right, and then let's go in with our Blue Violet Lake. Just gonna go lightly for now. So I want to kind of see what this will look like. Okay, I think that's pretty. Let's go ahead and, so we'll start lightly to kind of blend the dioxazine purple hue out, and then we'll just keep layering up and burnish the petals as we go. looks so pretty. Okay, I don't think we need the black. I think that looks good. And then also, while it's on my mind, I totally forgot to mention. So since I kind of left this overnight, I was playing around a little bit off camera. I was trying to scratch the color off of this heart that I ended up outlining, and it would not come off. So I did try to use the blender pencil to try and get it off, because that's what I usually do. And it kind of blended it out a little bit in like a neat way. So I'm going to do that with everything else. I outlined everything else already. And then I'm just going to go in with my blender pencil and just kind of go along the Posca pen to... It kind of like blends out and softens up the black. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll probably do that around the same time that I burnish her eye, because I'll probably speed that up again. Yeah. Was there anything else that I did? Oh, and I did go over all of this with the white. And then I went in with the, what color did we use there? The Blue Violet Lake, I think, is the one we used. I went in with the Blue Violet Lake and just darkened up these shadow points, the ones that we already had in there. So yeah, I did do that off camera. So I think that was everything. That was everything that I did. All right, so now we can do the same steps on this one. Wow, she definitely took a completely different route from what I was originally planning on, because I think I said greens and blues in the beginning. But it didn't go that way, did it? I'm not gonna lie, this piece has been a nightmare. And kind of stressful. Some of them are just like that though, and it's yeah, usually the ones that I'm really invested in and really don't want to mess up. And even now I'm like worried that this is too much purple. There's like only a couple blue items, like I don't know, it just sometimes I guess you just gotta throw balance out the window and just kind of go with it. And I think at that point that's really all I could do. I feel like, not that I have anything against Jasmine's work at all, or this page at all, because I absolutely love this page. Like I was saying, it's definitely in my top favorites. But I feel like this page already didn't have balance. Okay, let's go in with the black. Alright, so now we'll go in with the black and darken this up a bit. All right, and from there we'll go back in with our dioxazine purple hue. You going back out or are you staying in? What you doing? Pick. He's not sure. I got Stitch in here. He needed water. Usually he'll come in and drink some water and just lay down, but sometimes he wants help, so I'm just waiting to see what he needs. Okay, I'm gonna go through and burnish everything and then go over these bits as well. And I will meet you back when that's done. Alright, so that's all done. This is kind of like a happy accident. I mean, not quite an accident because I wanted to see how it would look and I did this one first. I just assumed that the black would be as easy to scratch off as the white is sometimes, but apparently that is not the case. Also, I guess when I scratch the white off, I'm scratching it off of Prismacolors, but going over this, I'm going over the outline, which isn't like fully burnished on, so I guess it would probably hold on a little bit more. But kind of diluting the, I guess, outline with this created a really neat effect. I actually really like that because it does make the copper parts stand out quite a bit from the blue part. So I actually do really like that. Okay, let's finish her eye here and then we can move on. So back in with our dioxazine purple hue. So just lightly, we don't need a whole lot of this. And we'll go in and finish that off with the Blue Violet Lake. Alright, I'm going to take my black Posca pen and I am just going to outline the inner part of this circle here very carefully. There we go. Now, if you wanted her face makeup to stand out, you could go ahead and outline everything. I want it to be a little bit more soft and subtle, so, I mean, with as bold as it is, I'm not going to outline mine. Alright, so now we just have this to color and the background's going to be pretty straightforward. So we'll color this next. So let's come in with our dark umber. Where did I put oh, up here. I don't know why I put it up there. I'm going to put the shadow in around the stone on this side. And then on the bottom, around this area on this side. Okay, just like that. And then we're gonna come in with terracotta. We're gonna make this part copper, and then the heart and this piece as well is gonna be blue. I think it might look good to have this piece as copper too, but I don't know, it just, when I was doing it on the computer, it just seems to stand out a lot more as blue, so I kind of like that. All right, peach is next. This is gonna go over those darker colors out just slightly. We don't have a whole lot of room, so probably won't bring these colors out much. Just enough that they're noticeable. All right, salmon pink is next. I think I'm going to skip the light peach. I'm just going to lightly go over everything with the salmon pink. And then we'll go in with our cream. Just a little bit on the highlights, and then we'll go in with our white and just go over and burnish and blend everything together. My white is a little bit dirty, so I'm going to sharpen and clean it off. It's always good to get in the habit of checking your light pencils, just because we use them to burnish a lot, so they oftentimes will have dark pigment on them. And depending on what you're coloring, what color it is, how light you want it, sometimes that's really problematic. All right, there's that. So for the gem, we're going to use the same colors as the velvet case kind of thing here. Now, if I was talented, I would draw this as a gem. I put different faucets in there. I think that's what they're called. But I am not quite that talented. So we're just going to do it as a shiny gem. If I didn't love this page so much, I would attempt it, but if it went bad, I would probably cry. So we're going to not do that. Just gonna lightly fade the Innistrad blue pretty close to the highlight, because I want the highlight to be quite a bit lighter, but I do want it to have that blue kind of tone to it. And I'm just going to darken up down here so we have a little bit more space to add the black, which we'll do now. If I can find my swatch card for it, I just had that. There it is. Okay, we're going to bring the black out a little bit. Fade that out. And then from there we can bring our indent-thrown blue out a little bit more and layer up the intensity of it. Lots and lots of layers. I think I like that. Oh, we used we used the cool grays for that. Should we bring those back? I think we should. Yeah, I think we should. Let's see, that was the 20 and the 10, I believe. I'm gonna grab those. I'm gonna grab the swatches for them. So we'll start with the 20%. We're gonna go in over top of our blues here, just lightly at first. Just gradually build up the burnishing of them. I think I'm going to blend the 20 out to about here. Make sure most of the back here is fully burnished. And then we'll go in with a 10% gray. I'm going to take right up where I left off, and I'm just going to keep pushing these blues out. That looks so pretty. All right, we're going to do the same with this one. So indent-thrown blue. This one's going to be a little bit different though. So we're going to add our shadows here. Should add some shadow all along the bottom here, kind of underneath each kind of stem a little bit. We'll add some shadows to each of these, and then kind of just in the middle, fade that out a bit. I'm just going to go over these areas a little bit to build up the pigment. I'm going to create another little line here. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of black in, not a whole lot. I think I'm mostly going to center it in the middle here, and then just a tiny little bit maybe off of these bottom stems. Maybe this one. I think I'm going to leave it like that. Let's come back in with the indent-thrown blue and kind of fade the black out a little bit. Okay, we'll want real sharp pencils for this part. And it broke. Alright, so the 20% we're going to bring out just a bit. We're going to save some highlights for the 10%, but for the most part, it's going to all be blue. Okay, that's okay there. And 10% right here. There we go. All right, I'm going to take my black Posca and I'm going to outline these as well. That includes this one because we want to bring a little bit more black into this to add some contrast and to make it stand out from everything else. Just gonna add a couple lines here. Okay, we can wait for that to dry and then we can add, or then we can blend out the black a little bit. I'm going to grab my white pen. Don't really think there's too many places where I want to add highlights. I do want to add highlights to some of these. The highlights are actually more noticeable in the shadows. I mean, technically you'd think that they would be where our highlights are, but you can add a couple in the shadows just to make them a bit more noticeable. I'm going to have a broken up highlight along the darker side of this jewel here. I was trying to say side and jewel at the same time. And a little one at the very top. Can add in some white highlights on this one here. I might actually even leave, I don't think I'll blend this out. I think I'm gonna leave these black highlights alone because they really make this part stand out from everything else, and I actually think that I like that. This flower here, I want to add some white highlights, kind of like all along the inside. I really want to lighten that up. So I'm not touching the line work of the flower. I want to add some white here as well, going over the outlines that Jasmine had drawn in here. There we go. I like that. I think I'm happy with the highlights everywhere else. I don't really feel I need to add any. So I think really the last thing to do is the background, which is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to take the light aqua actually. Did I put my swatch back for that? No, I tucked it back here because I didn't think I was going to use it. I will probably speed this up because I imagine this video is going to be really long. And I'm going to zoom out as well. Don't mind the mess. See, I'll show you on this small section here what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to speed the rest of it up. So with the light aqua, just going to very, very lightly add a layer of this. And then I'm going to go over it with the Blue Violet Lake just a little bit. So light layer of that over top. Then I'm going to go in with the powder blue. Make sure the tip is clean on that one. And I'm going to use this to burnish everything. I'm going to keep the background really straightforward. There's not going to be a whole lot to it. It's just going to be one solid color because I feel like there's already enough going on in this page that I don't want to distract from anything. And then I feel like this color will hopefully complement everything. Plus, since the only place that we really added the light aqua was in this flower, I feel like we need it somewhere else. So that's why I'm adding this. I think everything else has somewhat balance as best as I could. That was just the only color that you can see pretty clear that isn't anywhere else. So it's going to create like a really pretty icy blue background, and that's what I'm going to do for everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back to see if there's anything else. So there's the background done. Everything else is done. She still seems unfinished to me, and I think she kind of needs something sparkly. And crazy enough, I'm thinking about just adding sparkles to her eye makeup. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. But I think I might do it. Oh, that was an interesting sound. That was my chair, I promise. Alright, I'm gonna take my Sakura Stardust pen to this gem. Maybe both. The gem for sure, I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna do that after, because otherwise I'll be dragging my hand through it. You could also just use clear stickles on this if you would like. I would probably just maybe put clear stickles down and use a Q-tip to rub it around, so that way it doesn't end up super sparkly, unless that's what you want. I want more of a subtle sparkle on this, more like a shimmer. You could also use watered down metallic watercolors for that as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I should probably take a picture first. I'm not going to. We're gonna wing it. We're gonna go with it. I can always wipe it off. So I want something with super small sparkles. My favorite. This doesn't have a name on it, but it's a clear one with kind of like pastel sparkles. This is the one that I'm going to use. Okay, I do really like that, but I think using a Q-tip is going to be a little bit easier on this part too, actually. Just make it a little bit easier to spread out the sparkles. I don't know if I want sparkles on both. Let me just try here on this one and see. No, I like that. Let's do it. Oh, that is so pretty. I really like that. I don't know if I'll add sparkles anywhere else. I kind of want to add some sparkles to these flowers, but I also feel like the white there is good enough. So I don't know if I actually will or not, but oh my goodness, this looks so nice. I'm glad I decided to go ahead and do it. All right, I love that. Wonder if this gets smoother if I... Okay, if you use a Q-tip on this, it kind of smooths it out a little bit. I think I'm going to leave just the heart sparkly. I don't think I'm going to sparkle up this part. I think that's it. I think she's done. I don't really think there's anything else I feel I need to add. Yeah, I really like that. There is just a couple clumpy pieces here that I'm gonna fix. I don't like when my stickles clumps up. That's part of why I like using a Q-tip or like dispersing the glitter that way, because otherwise it's kind of bumpy and I don't like that. There. I think that's all of them that I can see. Hopefully that is. But yeah, I think she's done. I am actually really ecstatic with how she turned out. It's like surreal that she's finally done. I was just thinking maybe I should have done this heart blue. I wonder what that would have looked like. But I think it would have looked funny. I think all of her face paint for me needed to be in the same color family. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have liked it. But yeah, highlights are good. I think everything else looks okay. I think she looks awesome. I'm loving the purples with a little pop of blue. Everything else looks nice. I like that the background is light. I don't think I would have wanted it to be dark. I think the light kinda, I think the light makes her hair pop, and I think that she would have looked a little bit, her hair especially would have looked a little bit lost if we did black, and then same with like the heart piece as well. I think that would have been kind of lost too. So I think a lighter background was necessary. I thought about doing kind of like a vignette border type of thing, but with her arm here, it wouldn't have worked very well. So I think this is it. So I am going to leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this color along. If you did follow along, I would love to see your finished pages. So you can use the hashtag #DreamInColorAlong and tag me pretty much anywhere. I should be able to find them. You can also just DM them to me. That'd be awesome. I would love to see them. But yeah, that's it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!